I call the Martinville Public Library Board of Trustees regular meeting to order on February the 11th at 7:00 p.m. And please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Paul, would you take the roll, please?
Trustee Albers is absent. Trustee Burt, here. Trustee Kellerman.
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez.
Here.
Trustee Gray.
Here.
And Trustee Novick.
Here. Approval of the minutes from the board meeting of January 14th. Is there any, may I hear a motion for approval?
I make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Any comments, questions? I have one. The second page toward the bottom, motion to go into executive session. It took place at 7:24, not 44.
What page, I'm sorry?
Page 3. Motion to go into executive session toward the bottom.
Yes.
Well, second to last line, the last line in the paragraph says 7:44, it was 7:24,
Okay.
because all the other times match up to 24.
That's because Blanche couldn't read my writing.
That's
Sorry.
understandable,
That's sure it is.
if it's anything like mine. Okay, if there's no other corrections, all in favor of approval with as revised, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? They approved unanimously. There's also minutes for the executive session, minutes of January the 14th.
I'll motion to approve the minutes of the executive session from January 14th.
I'll second them.
Okay. Any questions or problems? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. There's no public here tonight, so there is no agenda items on the public. The President's report is very brief. It's to announce that Kathy Peters has certain her resignation as a board trustee, and that's all I really know about it. Is she's decided she no longer could or would be on the board. Was there any note to
Is
it?
this when we appoint a new secretary?
We could do that now, or we could do it later as new business.
I'll do it as new business, like you have it on the agenda.
Yeah, they're on the agenda.
That's a
New
good
business.
spot.
Okay.
All is ably serving.
That's the end of my report. Our treasurer isn't here tonight, but we do have a finance report. And did anybody look over and find things that they question or?
I just have, the telephone, it looks like you've already used 31% of the budget for, and I wonder if that's
There's an annual lump sum
at, towards the beginning.
Mhm.
Okay. I figured it was something like that, but.
I have a question, and I've never noticed this before, so it's probably a logical answer. I happened to, Creekside Printing drew my attention because of the size of it. I know that's the newsletter is Creekside. But I see it on the list of checks written, but I don't see it anywhere in the budget as being removed as an expense.
Yes, there is a printing line item.
And I saw 0, unless I'm imagining things.
That's a good question. Do you-
Probably paid it in February instead of January.
Well, then it wouldn't be in the check register.
Or is it in the check register?
It's in the check
Oh.
register, the $3,705, check number 38,423.
We didn't send anything to the printer in January, that would have been December's. Did December's end up in January's check register?
Probably.
Because we just now have something at the printer.
I know.
It shows January 4th, so that would have been right after the,
It could have been.
Right.
It sounds like it's
So-
December's.
Yes, so even though it's dated a January check, it went into December's statement, because it was,
Okay, so the
December.
statement is more when things come in and the checks is more when they go
Right.
out.
we are modified accrual accounting, which means that we accrued the liability in December, so it's showing up in December's bookkeeping, but the
Okay.
actual date on the check.
I just never noticed it before.
It's a bit of an anomaly, but it's a good catch.
I was just wondering what lynda.com and Assurance were, I don't understand those.
Lynda.com is a new database we're subscribing to, so that's an annual fee, and you're going to really love it. It's tutorials, largely computer tutorials, but it's mostly webinars, kind of teaching for all sorts of stuff. I've taken some of their classes, they're awesome. Assurance is our WIN bill, isn't it? Is Assurance our WIN bill for insurance?
Yes.
Assurance is insurance.
Okay, I had a feeling it might be insurance related, okay.
Any other questions?
I have one, Utica National Insurance.
4 times a year, we pay them for part of our business insurance. Utica is actually handling our sprinkler situation.
I hope they handle it well.
Well, I got a call today, but we'll get there.
Goody.
We'll get there.
Hope we get a couple of our premiums back anyway.
Anything else? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the financial report?
I make a motion to approve the financial report of January.
For January. A second?
Second.
All those in favor, you have to call the roll on this.
Yes. Trustee Miller,
Yes.
Trustee Gray,
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
Trustee Callahan.
Yes.
Trustee Bird, yes.
Okay. Next, was there anything for facilities that we need to know about? Or do you wanna hold it to you?
Down under unfinished business, so.
Okay. Policy, the 3 policies that we.
Two policies.
2 policies,
Montville
excuse
Public
me.
Library proctoring policy.
I knew that.
There weren't any changes other than probably a comma.
We have our comma expert now.
Comma police.
Or a period or something like that, but if everybody, if you've read it.
Hey, it's good to have one
okay.
around.
Yes, it is.
Better her than me.
And do we approve each one separately, or do it as a?
You can do it as a group as long as there's nothing.
And then the privacy and confidentiality of patron identifiable information. Again, we didn't make any changes, 'cause I don't think we could, because this is all different
It's
legal
legalese.
things that are, you know, other than
Period or
but other than
comma.
that, we didn't make any changes on this.
So do you wanna make that as a motion to approve the,
I'll motion to approve the proctoring policy and the privacy and confidentiality of patron identifiable information policy.
I'll second it.
Do we have somewhere, I read on the privacy one, where you talk about, that on your website, people may connect to some other, site where their information may or may not remain private. Do we have any kind of disclaimer?
What kind of information would not remain
I
private?
don't know. It says that where you say that the library, website contains links to websites and resources owned by other, or operated by third parties.
There's the portion.
Do you think that, I'm just
Which
throwing out.
page, the
whether-
first page
This
or
is
the
the second
second
page,
Second page.
right, the paragraph right above records retention.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought you wanted to do that.
I think that's, do you think we need more than that paragraph, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think you do alert people, you say review their policies, you know. I suppose it's implicit that, that if they're a third party, it's up to them to have their own policies or their own, take their own protections. In other words, I guess.
Because some of the databases, that we authenticate them to use, but then they create another login at that database, and it might keep records of the classes that they're taking there, or the foreign language that they're studying, that kind of data is being collected. I don't think they're collecting any information like a phone number or
They're not-
anything like that.
They're not collecting any of your information. You know, you're meaning the information that the library maintains.
No, they don't
Okay.
have any access to that at all.
Then I don't think it'd be necessary.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay. Paul, do you wanna call the roll?
Call the roll. So the Proctor privacy policy,
Correct,
trustee Novick,
yes.
trustee Byrd,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Callahan,
Yes.
trustee Byrd, yes.
Okay, passed unanimously. The director's report,
I just have a few things, because I know we have a lot of other things to talk about later, but a couple things I want to bring up. We just had Sickage out here doing our annual audit. They're waiting on our actuarial report to complete it, but they will give me enough preliminary financial data to complete the IPLAR, which is the second point here. The IPLAR is done except for the financial data at this point. That is the annual report that we report to the state. And we've done all of the information about the board, about our patrons. Kevin put all the statistical information. The two of us have put in everything except the finances. So once the financial information is in hand, which I should have in another week or two, I'll finish the IPLAR. The IPLAR has to be done now before the certification, so we've got kind of a pyramid effect here. Certification is something the Rails has instituted. It's relatively new. Last year it was very simple. This year they're adding the requirement that your IPLAR has to be completed. Other than that, it's just a few questions. So I will get all of that done within the next couple of weeks, once I get Sickich's financial information. A couple other things, Illinois funds and all the libraries will agree that they were not clear at all on what they were talking about, but fortunately our accountants caught this. We had gotten paperwork from them. Illinois funds is the financial institution where our tax dollars have been going, and it draws a very small amount of interest. They sent out a bunch of paperwork that you could no longer use them to write checks, et cetera. Well, we didn't use them that way, so Blanche and I didn't do anything about it, because we transfer the money into Northern Trust before we write any checks. Well, Sickage pointed out first to the village, and they called me and said, did you know? And I'm like, no. And then Sickage then talked to us directly that they also will no longer take third-party deposits. So Cook County can no longer deposit our tax dollars into Illinois funds directly. So I called Illinois funds to verify this, and they said, that's correct, you need to deposit locally, and then you can transfer it to us. And I said, well, what is the benefit of transferring it to you? And and she goes, none. So, so we are no longer having our money sent to Illinois funds, it's going straight to Northern Trust. We haven't gotten any tax dollars to make sure this transition has happened, but we've done the paperwork, Blanche got that submitted. We do need to keep Illinois funds open for the per capita grant if we actually get it. So they will accept granting dollars from the state, but they won't accept local tax dollars from the counties. And this is happening it's a mess all over the place, so
Is there a minimum you have to keep in there?
not that I'm aware of, do you know? I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
We may actually make more interest in an interest-bearing account locally anyway, so it will slightly change how we are reporting our finances. You'll see the dollars shift to different accounts, but we think that we caught that all in time. And the other thing I want to pass out, this I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because there are, again, a lot of things going on, but I kind of did a cursory look at the strategic plan that we passed last summer, and through the pages you'll see some red markings that show, let's see, there's two more, that show what we have accomplished or been working on this year. This is a real quick and dirty report, but I thought you'd be interested to see that the staff here and the board has really been working towards the goals that we had set in the strategic plan last summer, and I found that was kind of gratifying. We are in the middle, wrapping up winter reading for adults. It ends the 15th, and that's been very successful. Other than that, any questions about my paper report?
That's it,
That's it.
thank you. Corporate
Oh, for me, sure.
council,
Sure. The only thing I guess I have to report tonight is, the resolution which you all received, and if there were any questions, you know, we had talked about this, several times, over the years about why do we have somebody running all by themselves instead of, you know, the 2-2-3, scenario that the statute sets out. So, I know Deborah got a question from an outside group, you know, questioning, so, right now, with Kathy's resignation, you have a vacancy, so you can play around with that term. So the intent is that, you're gonna appoint somebody, well, the intent of the resolution is you're gonna appoint somebody to finish out, because that term was elected. Somebody ran and you know, so that term has to be filled. And that would just be till the election in 2017. Then in the consolidated election in 2017, your resolution says that you're gonna have a 4-year term. So you'll still have 3 trustees running, but one trustee, one slot will be for 4 years. And then that'll bring it with you, with when your term is up in 20, going out that far, 2021. And then in the consolidated election in 2021, you'll be back to full 6-year term. So you have 2 6-year terms, and then that'll get you to
3, 2, and 2.
yes.
So everybody will always be 6 years.
Yeah, the terms, this doesn't change. This doesn't change your terms. Now, you have the right to do that, and, you know, we've talked about that before, but, you know, you do have the right in your bylaws to change the term.
The primary reason the state recommends and pushes 6-year terms is so that you never have a majority running at the same time. That's why they split it 3-2-2. If you went to 4-year terms, then it would be 3-4, 3-4, and you would, every other election, you'd have a majority possibly all being replaced, so.
That's a good reason, I hadn't.
It is a good reason, it's a
Yeah,
very good
okay.
reason, so.
That was the reason we were able to overwhelm everyone, because there were 4 of us.
Well, because you had 4.
Somebody had left,
Because you had an unexpired term, and that
And
they
we
ran
ran,
for it,
and we ran as a block.
My name is spelled wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
Sorry, Carlotta.
Well, you know what, I'll send you a new first page tomorrow.
No, I don't change the Z to an S.
So the Z is in this, I should have caught that, I'm
I
sorry.
should have, I didn't even look at the names.
You know, and the funny thing is, I'm working on a case where it's a Gonzalez with a Z.
But I
And I just-
figured,
and I didn't even think about it.
I've done
You're
that
an S,
for
right?
years.
Well, it's more common with the Z, I think.
the Z is more common.
Yes.
Okay, well, I can send that to you tomorrow, revised first page.
Okay,
And
And then
then this
the
needs to be
signatures are all in the
signed.
second page, right?
yes.
I brought copies that you could sign if you know, I just printed off a couple copies that you could sign if you want.
Should we vote to adopt this now, or wait until we're in on the agenda?
Wait till it's on the agenda.
Okay.
And then I brought you a certification just so you can have a certified copy of the records.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fran.
You're welcome.
Unfinished business, Deborah can.
Just a quick update on the water repairs. I got a call from Mark Smith with Frontier Construction today. He got a call this morning from Bill with, with the Buick Insurance, and the they've agreed on a number now, so as soon as the paperwork's done, they will be able to start the repairs. And so Mark said to look to the middle of next week. I was hoping for Monday, but he's also got people on other jobs, so we're looking at probably Wednesday, the repairs beginning at last, and it supposedly they've completely negotiated, it isn't gonna cost the library anything.
It's covered by insurance, that's nice.
Oh,
that's
yes.
nice.
That's wonderful.
So that's why we need to pay for
So
rather
there's no,
expensive insurance.
there's no deductible or anything.
Not that I've been told, but I haven't seen any of this paperwork yet, I've just heard all the negotiating, so I'll let you know as soon as I know.
The deductible is nothing you do.
No,
There's not much you can do about it if it's there.
Or something.
There may be after we get our new insurance bill.
The next unfinished business was in answer to Paul's question last time. I did talk to Jeff and the circulation staff. There is an occasional person that takes those 10 and kind of looks like they might be abusing the privilege, but most of the time, most patrons take 3 to 5 DVDs, and so they don't really feel there's a problem there at this point, but they'll keep an eye on it.
We walked in at the wrong time.
I just said we walked at the wrong time.
That's it.
Probably closer to 20.
Wow.
Wow. They're gonna have quite a night.
It might be very lonely too, you never know.
Maybe he's twilighting.
Maybe.
There you go.
Okay, no more old unfinished business. New business, a discussion and action concerning the youth service bathroom remodeling during repairs. Deborah,
So we had budgeted this year to do something with those bathrooms. I was really hoping there was a silver lining and they'd be damaged enough where they would just get repaired. But they were gonna match the tile and put them back together the way they were. So I had, I had Mark quote us to actually take all the tile out. And he tends to quote on the high side. This is a little bit higher than we budgeted. I talked to David, if we lined out the painting, our own guys could do the actual painting, and that saves $1,800 right there. And I don't think Mark would have any problem with that. But we did budget to do something with those bathrooms, so as long as they're gonna be ripping them up anyway, it would really make sense.
What did we budget for?
We budgeted for more like 10 to 12,000.
Okay.
And he also said, this is on the high side, they're going to have a dumpster here, so whether or not they have to get a separate one, I don't know, so, I can't promise, we would need to approve this quote, but
I
it's,
think you should just do it.
I think it's the time to do it.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Otherwise you're gonna have to close them again later.
It's gonna
to
cost
save
a
it.
lot more to do it later,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
so we can estimate about 14,000,
Mhm.
and we budgeted 12.
Roughly, yeah.
Then we have to have a vote on this.
Yeah, we need to have a motion and a vote to approve this quote.
Approve the 16,000.
And if you wanna approve it minus painting, that's fine, you don't wanna take that line out.
Yeah, I would suggest that we do minus painting.
I'll get my calculator.
What would we do without all our toys?
4909.
I could do it if I had to.
If it were morning,
The
maybe.
days of arithmetic have disappeared.
14909, yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Did it in my head.
Well, I'm going with the dumpster also. I'm trying to
Yeah,
control
I
that.
can't really take that out, we can kind of hope that that is cut down, that's another place where I think would be less, but
He thinks you might not need one?
I think we might not, because they'll have a larger one here for the whole, they're taking down a lot of stuff, they're taking down a lot of walls, but I don't know that for sure, so I think we need to leave it in and approve it this way, and then just
I agree.
cross our
Hope for the
fingers,
best.
yeah.
It's basically $1,800 difference, exactly what the painting is,
Right.
Yeah.
obviously.
Mhm.
So we need to take a vote to approve, not the budgeted part, but the additional 1,800.
I would have just approved the quote.
Actually, you should approve the
Yeah.
whole.
The whole quote,
the whole-
okay.
Yeah, because you're gonna enter into a contract to
Yes,
to
you have
do
to
this,
approve
so
the contract.
so that's why you would do it.
Yeah, I make a motion to approve the quote for the bathroom remodeling of $14,909.
I
Do I
second
understand?
that motion, sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to do all the seconds, most of them.
Carlotta can do some too.
Carlotta's allowed one or two. Any further discussion on this? If not, would you please call the roll?
Trustee Byrd, yes. Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes,
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Novick.
Yes, we're skipping the order.
I just wanna mention facility audit presentation, I didn't get the final, audit from Studio GC until late Tuesday, so, well, we're gonna postpone that presentation until the next meeting. And I do plan to come, even though it'll be right after I've left. Kevin and I are gonna go through it with a fine tooth comb, and everything Studio GC recommends we do is not necessarily everything we need to do, but what we definitely need to do in 2017's budget is replace the generator. So that is one large ticket item that we'll need to budget for. It is ancient and we are on borrowed time there. So the audit is extremely good and thorough for showing how old some of our items still are, things that weren't addressed, because they weren't really part of what we did last year, but will need to be, and it's kind of a rolling plan. So next meeting we'll have a little more to say about that.
Thank you.
Just curious, the generator down there, what does it run on?
Natural gas.
Natural gas.
Natural gas? Just curious.
Yeah, and it'll be about a $50,000 item.
Ouch.
Maybe we go to Menards and get two small ones.
Maybe 10 small ones? Okay, we've just had the discussion, Frank just presented to us the length of board terms and the resolution. We need to vote on the resolution, is that
Yes, we
correct? Is there any further questions or issues?
Motion?
We need a motion to adopt
And then
resolution
that's it.
2016-1.
You can't make the motion.
No, I said we need a motion.
I
would
will-
never presume.
What was the number 28?
2016, that's
What
what.
was it? The number?
2016-1.
2016.
Carlotta, read it out loud and make the motion.
may I make a motion to approve the resolution number 2016-1, resolution providing for a special term for trustees to adjust the trustees' election cycle.
I will second that.
Any discussion with further questions about this? If not, Paul, will you call the roll when you get it all written in there?
Yeah, we'll go for that one.
That's why they don't let me be secretary.
Okay, we got those audits, okay. All right, trustee Byrd, yes, I approve. Trustee Calhoun,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Novick,
Yes.
approved on 5-11 votes.
Okay, at this point, because of the resignation of Kathy Peters, we have no secretary. And is anyone would like to take the secretary for the next few months until the elections?
I have no problem with taking it unless somebody else wants it.
Oh, I don't think you'll have a challenge.
You did.
I see everybody racing.
I'm like,
Thank you, Paul. Does everybody,
You seem very
does
thorough.
anybody have any reasons for, against this?
Blanche, do you have any, because of his penmanship?
for him.
Okay.
You should be used to it by now.
Somebody should make a motion. Somebody should make a motion.
I will motion for Paul Berg
She is better
to
than I do.
Fill the vacancy.
fill the vacancy of secretary left by Catherine Peters' resignation.
And I second that.
Call the roll.
Let's get to the roll. Up that.
You can abstain.
Trustee Novick?
Yes.
Novick, yes, trustee Novick, trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Calhoun,
You know my answer.
trustee Byrd.
You're on guilt. We're getting nasty around here.
No, you're not gonna vote no.
I'm still in anyway.
Even if it was 4-1, I still, I felt to serve.
I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, the next order of business is the presentation of the bylaws with recommended changes. And I'll call on Carlotta for that.
Okay, we changed some of the bylaws. Changes are in red, just so you know. We have put in standing rules. A standing rule outlines the procedures of the organization that are not included in the bylaws and must not conflict with the bylaws. So just so you know what a standing rule is that we put in.
The reason you added them was to,
Clarify
thank you.
certain parts, and you'll see it's in red, see standing rule A. And we're gonna attach them to the back of the bylaws
Right.
as an appendix. So, but you got each standing rule with your bylaws. So if you wanna go through this really
Did
quickly,
everybody have a chance to look at them?
if you look at it, anything in red
Can we go?
is either a change or a noting of the standing rule.
Did you have a
Because I
thing that
only
said,
had 2 days and.
did you have a rule that you had to send them out a certain?
I only put presentation on there, I didn't put adoption.
No, we're not adopting.
We're not
Oh,
adopting.
okay.
We're not adopting it.
It's a chance for people to ask some
Yeah,
quick
because that's why we
questions.
did.
You wanted to adopt them in
Okay.
March, at the March
Okay.
meeting.
Perfect,
So this was a discussion.
because I thought you had a requirement. that-
Yeah, we do have that requirement.
We do, but we're not gonna do it till March. So that's why we're doing it, you know.
It'll be
sort
in
of-
March when I'm not gonna be here.
It's okay.
You're not here in March or you're not here in April?
I'm not here in
Both.
March or April.
Okay.
I stretched it out.
Okay.
Oh.
I'm running away before. I'm running for the doctor.
Well, David just said he won't be here in March either, I'm trying to do the math in my head.
Two can be
Yes,
gone,
two
more
can
than
be
that, we're
gone.
gonna be in trouble.
If we don't have somebody who replaced
Oh.
Kathy yet.
We'll have 3 gone.
So
There'll be
we'll have
3 gone.
4, which is a majority,
Yeah, you can do,
as long as we don't lose one more.
Okay. Even if I have hand, foot, mouth, I'll.
I
I already had that done this year.
Foot and mouth disease.
I'll be here March, I will not be here April.
Well, there's 2 of us that won't be here in
Wait a
April
minute.
too now.
By then you may have.
We might have replaced Kathy by April.
Hopefully.
Oh, that's, ooh, I might not be here in March.
Oh.
10th?
Okay, do we just need to change the week of the meeting? Because I think you need a March meeting. If
Yes,
there,
we do.
There's a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
weekend.
that's the
it's
10th,
you
right?
have too much going on to skip a meeting.
I think
It's
so,
the
but we can, as long as we announce it, put it in the newspaper, we can change the
Yeah.
date.
You could do that today.
The 11th is what it is, Thursday.
If you could set that meeting today, then
We can
send it
set
out.
March 10th,
10th.
Thursday.
10th.
Oh, you're right, I'm looking in February, sorry.
What if we move it up to the 3rd and then I will be here?
So the first week
Or
of.
the 17th?
I
Who
can-
could come on the 3rd?
The 3rd, I still work here, the 17th, I can't.
The 3rd
Yeah.
is a taste of Morton Grove.
Oh.
Not a
Is
good
it
day.
really? It's the 3rd? Oh.
Yeah, I just drove by the sign, he's right.
The 17th,
I will not be able to be here, but that's okay. I mean, you don't need me to be here.
it's for this true. Other things, I can't say that.
17th is fine.
It's St. Patrick's Day, so what, who cares? I'm not Irish.
Is anybody in this room
Go out
Irish? We have a
after.
redhead over
Calvin.
there. We have a
Oh, Calvin.
Calvin.
I will be here, but I'll probably be jet lagged.
Well, that's only one person missing. Nothing against any one person at this table, you understand, but we have to have a majority to get through this.
Sounds like.
Why are we doing this? I mean,
Because
for the
every
bylaws?
2 years, we have to review the bylaws.
Okay, I'm just.
Is it also the nomination of
It
officers?
says we're also, yeah, we'll be
It's-
taken from the floor in
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Nominations are taken.
Yeah, we'll have to work that out too.
Yeah, there's a number of things to do at that meeting, so.
Mm, okay.
It was nomination
17th is
of,
fine with me.
it was nomination for officers at the next meeting.
And you won't be, you can't come on the 17th either?
I can come on the 17th.
Oh, you can't, okay.
Slight jet lag, but I'll be
Okay.
alive.
That's all right, that's good.
I got a whole day in between.
Okay.
If I don't get out of this town pretty soon, I'm gonna go wacky.
She'll be all refreshed
So
from
we're
a
gonna make the
vacation.
meeting on the 17th, and hopefully Mark can be here.
So do we have to take a motion for that?
If you move the meeting, you should, yeah.
Move the meeting.
Motion to move the meeting.
We need a motion to move the meeting. I move that we change the March 10th meeting to March 17th.
I will second it. And
There you got Barbara moving.
does someone need to email,
Blanche and I'll make sure the papers get it printed.
okay. I was thinking, why is his name escaping me?
Mark?
Yes, thank you. I was gonna call him Al, I'm like, that's not right.
That's
What's
from
his last
Albers.
name? Albers, Mark.
Um,
I'm so bad with names, my goodness.
Just a second.
everybody else is
Yes.
here, so I can email him and just let him know. Anything else on that issue? Okay, so by the 17th, we will be
Did
voting.
you vote on that?
Oh, no, we have to vote on that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes that the meeting will take place on the 17th. And,
Before you go into executive session, you want me to do communications?
yeah, let's finish up the meeting, and then we'll go into executive session.
So communications is just, usually I pass around a variety of articles. We were, I think did we include in your packet copies of the reporter article that Studio GC did?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
you had emailed
And then now that you have your print copies, you'll find a couple pages later, there's a picture of the library.
Oh,
They
is
used
there?
us in an ad. Yeah. Also, we had one patron complain that we haven't fixed the bathrooms yet, so I emailed and explained that it's not her fault. So other than that, it's a bunch of promo
Did
pieces.
she get back to you, Jim?
Mhm. I didn't get an answer back from that, but I did address it.
I'll look at it later.
It was a nice article, that you sent out from the council.
Bad news, Rick?
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
He said they edited it a little bit, but it was nice too.
But it was nice to see where did I look? I'm trying to think of where I looked. Is it on their website? They have photos of before, and it's like, you know, it was only, what, a year ago?
Uh-huh, you can almost
But
hardly remember.
you forget what it looked like a year ago compared to now.
Very old fashioned.
It was the article was a good reminder that our project was in reaction to the roof caving in. It wasn't the full-blown remodel the whole place. It was repair the roof, the ADA requirements that followed, and putting things back together, and getting rid of the asbestos, so, which shows why there are still a few things to do. We didn't remodel the entire building, but.
Right.
Also, an article went out from the board,
I saw that the,
Very nice, thank you for that.
it was nice.
thanking Deborah for the marvelous 2 years she gave us, and telling the world we're gonna miss her. That will go into, hopefully it'll get into the Pioneer Press and the Bugle. It's already in the online newspapers. So,
Thank you
that
very
was
much.
done. If anybody wanna see that, I brought copies of it.
It's not gonna make me cry.
It might,
Actually, there's also in there.
is it in there too? Okay,
In the folder.
Oh, it's in the fold.
we're gonna go into executive session so that we can discuss two matters, personnel I need somebody to read, oh, I've got it right here.
No, I got it.
I make the motion that the board go into executive session to consider information regarding appointment, employment, or dismissal of an employee or officer pursuant to section 2C1 of the Open Meetings Act.
And,
I wouldn't.
second that, do we have to announce that you
Who's the,
and
give
Kevin
me a
and
second.
Let me come back out of it.
I second it.
I motion, do I have to say what it's for, or just that we're gonna do
You're
it?
determining a special meeting. on the
special
very-
meeting for the purposes of determining,
Personnel matters.
personnel matters.
I motion that we have a special meeting on Thursday, February 18th at 7:30 to discuss personnel matters.
Do I hear a second?
May I have your attention,
I'll second
please?
it.
The library will close in 30 minutes. If you need
Okay,
assistance, help with
let's have a
computers,
vote on
call the
this one.
library.
Okay,
Contact library
let's
staff
vote.
for help now. If you need to
Yeah, we
arrange
got
for
two
a
Germans
phone,
in here.
please do so at
Yes.
this time. The
Trustee
library will close in
Callahan.
30
Yes.
minutes at 9 o'clock.
Trustee
Thank you.
Gray,
Yes.
trustee Gonzalez,
Yes.
trustee Novick.
Yes.
Gesundheit.
Piece of paper. Okay. Is there any other business? If not, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Second, we're adjourned.